And it should be. In other words, you don't have to meditate for a half hour. You want to? Awesome. Want to meditate for an hour? Be my guest. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes. Minutes matter when it comes to exercise, when it comes to meditation, when it comes to everything we do. When you do a few minutes of everything rather than a lot or a little bit of something a lot. See, now I'm getting confused. I had it. I've been saying this for years, and it's still, you don't want to just do one thing, like your exercise at New Year's for a short amount of time, do a lot at one time. No, you want to do a little bit of many things frequently, and that includes meditation. And let me tie it back. Yes, there's so many different ways to meditate. I have yet to do a show on this. I will do it, I promise, because it's so important. I have done the psychological training, the meditation very frequently over the years with my sports performance. So I did do the show on self-talk and visualization, and that can be part of your meditation. If you are someone who is competing in anything, or you're a performer, you play an instrument, anything like that, mental training is a huge part of that, of improvement, of being as good as possible. But when you go on your walks, that is also my time to meditate, which is why I want to be in the woods and I want to be alone. And that is a form of meditation for me. Running is moving meditation for me. So now you can see how you connect these things and you can get the benefits of so many of these free things at the same time. So yes, if you can also take 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, once a day ideally, a couple times a week to get started. Like anything else, you're not going to be perfect, and it shouldn't be stressful. Any of these points, by the way, should not be stressful. You're not going to do all of them at the same time every day. You mix them in, you start to work on them, and when you do a little bit frequently, that is when success just starts to take off. So minutes matter. And if it's you sitting, in a quiet spot, after work, whenever you have time to sit, dark place, quiet, and it can be positive affirmations. It can be just clearing your mind. Whatever you need to do. I love the positive affirmations. I also love visualizing my goals. So clearing your mind, taking a few minutes, once a day again. You can do it a little more frequently if you want, but it is just clearing your head, giving your mind time to relax, especially in this time of just being overwhelmed with information and technology and just stimulus. Right before bed, awesome time to do it. So it doesn't cost anything, and it is super valuable. How much? 2 quick meta-analysis studies. First one, the effects of the transcendental meditation technique on trait anxiety, a meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials. This was in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine, May 2014. They looked at a bunch. So these meta-analysis, both of these studies looked at a bunch of different studies, pulled out the ones they thought worked for them the best, were the most reliable, and the first one had nearly 1,300 adults who were involved in the studies they looked at, and it demonstrated that meditation may decrease stress, and it was strongest in individuals with the highest level of stress. Now, one real interesting thing about these studies on meditation, I would argue, listen, the studies are what they are, but the findings, they are minimizing the effects to some degree, I would say. I'm oversimplifying in a major way. But that's the job of these studies, is to be very, to really look at the science. But let me give you one more. Meditative therapies for reducing anxiety, a systematic review and meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials. This was in Depression and Anxiety, June 2012. And this one, they looked at over 1,000 abstracts to start. They whittled that down to 200 full articles to review, and they only chose randomized controlled trials for this one, a total of 36 they looked at in the meta-analysis, which is roughly about 2,500 people. 25 of the studies reported statistically superior outcomes in the meditation group compared to the control when it came to reducing anxiety. And give you the takeaway, just I love the way they word these, as I was saying earlier, in my confusing way. This review demonstrates some efficacy of meditative therapies in reducing anxiety symptoms, which has important clinical implications for applying meditative techniques in treating anxiety. All right, and they went on to say most studies measured only improvement in anxiety symptoms, but not anxiety disorders as clinically diagnosed. Okay, get it. And this is what I was saying earlier about, the findings. Listen, anxiety symptoms, that's pretty great for most of us. So meditation, another free way, takes just minutes to be extremely beneficial for you to improve, I gotta say, everything. So this is where everything is connected. And as I've said on so many other shows, what drives me nuts is when it's the all or nothing. It's the, do you do this or that? Is it strength training or cardio? It's everything. It's all connected. And that is part of this whole show, is to show you the connections. That exercise leads to eating better. And improving your mood leads to exercising and eating better. And the order is almost irrelevant, but when you start exercising, for a couple minutes, you feel better about yourself, you make better food choices, it's just all connected. And that is the fatal flaw with so many articles and so many products and people that are out there preaching. Because to get the clicks and to get their name out there, they choose one. This is the be-all, end-all way. No, it's not. It's excessive moderation. I'm right. Final break. Perfect spot. One final break. What are we on now? Oh, we got to get moving. All right. Number 5 coming up. We're going to move fast through the last handful. All right. Final break. We'll be right back.